City Church of Compton started 10 years ago with the conviction that a city's transformed from the inside out, and so many of us moved into the city and became a part of what was going on here. One fun story of what took place about 5 years ago, it was an Easter Sunday. We had our service, and then we were transitioning outside, getting lunch ready. There were kids on the playground, people were all over the place, and a lady was walking by our yard. And when she walked by, she asked someone, "What is this?" And someone gave the answer, "This is a church." And she says, "I've never seen this before." In which the person was thinking, well, we're in a residential neighborhood, it looks a little different. And then she went on to say, "I've never seen this before. I've never seen all the races together." And that for us was just kind of one of those curiosity moments that we're causing in other people's lives to see that we want to be curious people, because the gospel begins to bring people together from all different backgrounds.
One of our pastors at our old church, when we were part of this church plan, when we said yes, when God called us to the city of Compton, he said that our marriage, I'm married to a black guy, my husband, our marriage would bring a lot of reconciliation between the races. I'm a Mexican woman, and so in many ways, just moving into the city and people on our block seeing our relationship has brought a lot of healing. They've brought a lot of great questions, just curiosity, where it wouldn't be normal to ask these questions on the street to people that are strangers, but because out of relationships, they're able to feel comfortable enough to ask me these weird questions like, "Can I touch your daughter's hair?" Like, "I've never seen hair like this before. Does your husband treat you right?" Like, what kind of question is that, right? And so there's a lot of random questions that have been answered, and there's been a lot of healing, a lot of stereotypes that have been debunked, if that's the word, just because they're asking the questions because they're curious. And so I feel like through relationships, there's been a lot of reconciliation just being here in the city.
Yeah, I'm reminded of some of the tough conversations that we've had. Like, we're not shy about entering into the hard stuff. I remember Pat asking a group of us to come and sit on his patio and talk. And I didn't know what I was going to get with that conversation, right? Like, it was one of those things where, hey, I just want to, right, kind of feel what you're going through. Let me know what's happening. And it was one of the young black men had been murdered, and it had made news. And he just wanted to sit around and hear our voice.
Yeah.
You know, what does this do to you? How do you feel? Do you have any of your own stories?
Yeah.
And I was in awe. Like, who does that?
Right.
Right?
No one's ever asked me.
No one ever asked me that question. I think Barack, right?
Nobody white has ever asked me how I feel about black men getting killed.
Right. Right.
But my pastor did.
Yeah.
And my friend did.
Right.
And it was so good. It was so good because of the freedom of being able to speak.
Yeah.
If it was somebody else who was randomly white, I wouldn't have said anything. But because I have a relationship with him, I was willing to be real and honest and open about how I felt.
Yeah. The vulnerability was there.
Because
of the relationship.
That's right. And you need that and that empathy in order to have these types of conversations. You just can't skirt around it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Amen. Amen. So it's not that we don't have tough conversations. It's not that, right, family doesn't ever have those family meetings, right? We do. But we operate out of that lens. Like, we're family first, right? And so that's a great reconciler, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, I think it's important not to rush through what makes us unique. I think there's so many things that makes us unique in terms of City Church of Compton. I did state earlier today that it feels like most churches feel like corporations, but this church feels like a family. And it's an Acts 2:42 church. Like, we're eating together, we're fellowshipping together, we're kicking it together, we're crying together, we're laughing together, We're building together. We do business together.
Yeah.
We worship together. We go to school together. I mean, we do everything. We trade cars. We trade houses. We watch each other's kids.
Feed each other's
We
kids.
feed each other's kids. We go shopping for one another.
Yeah, come on.
We do each other's gardening. We watch each other's houses when we're out of town. We do life together.
Yeah.
And it's so rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Come on.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. It's broccoli to
Right,
you.
right. Our kids call Barack broccoli. Let's hope that makes it to the video.
And that's the healing that takes place, because when Barry and I leave and we go talk to our black friends and they ask us or imply, why are you at the white church? I'm like, I'm not at a white church. I'm at a church that loves me.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go to church, but we don't deal in color. We deal in gospel. And I think that's what separates us from everybody else.